This video was made possible by EA Game Changers.
Hi guys, rachybop here. Welcome to today's video, which is my walkthrough and review of the Sims 4 Nifty Knitting Stuff Pack.
So this is the latest new stuff pack for the Sims 4, out on July 28th, with thanks to EA Game Changers for the early access. So I spent a bit of time playing this over the weekend, and in fact, just to give you an idea of the amount of stuff in the pack, because it is just a stuff pack, remember, which usually means just stuff, but over recent years it's meant interactivity and gameplay as well, which is a refreshing change, but it definitely affects the amount of stuff we get in the game too. So this is a community stuff pack, and it took me about 2 hours to get through everything, but that was with cheats. Like, if it was just a basic stuff pack with just stuff, then you'd just get the stuff full stop, but this does have gameplay. So and if I hadn't used cheats towards the end of playing, then it would definitely have taken me a lot longer. This is a community voted stuff pack, so everything in the stuff pack is what the community has voted for. And after watching the live stream, they also said that there were some things that they put in that were extra to what won the vote. So there should be something in there. If you voted for things in this pack and what you voted for won, then you should be pretty happy. It's a very niche pack, knitting, so just bear that in mind. And a lot of the new stuff is locked, so there's a ton of new stuff, and obviously if you use the cheats to unlock it all, you get it straight away, but that's kind of not the idea of the pack. The idea is that you knit and progress and unlock these things, so you don't get them at all straight away. There are a few things that you get, but not everything. There's some really nice new cast items, hairstyles, and I really specifically love the jeans with the pearls on it. Oh, and the new mailboxes, which we'll see later. There's no pet clothes, which I found a little bit upsetting. I would have quite liked that, but that would tie in so heavily with the expansion, I guess, that it's not really worth them doing. I don't know. There's one nice styled room which has most of the new stuff within it, so if you want a quick way to just plop everything, just use that styled room. The doors are absolutely beautiful. They're so cute. That styled room just makes it nice and stress-free if you don't particularly like building and you just want to see the things, because essentially now I would say the Sims 4 has come back to the Sims roots and become just a building tool, because the gameplay is just so buggy and laggy. It's kind of the same for mobile as well. They've just become really great building tools, but the gameplay in them is not the best. Hopefully that's fixed in the future, but anyway, let's get back to the pack. To be able to start knitting, you have to put yarn in your inventory. There's two sort of yarn boxes, one's like round and one's square, and you put those in your inventory, and then you're able to knit anywhere you can sit. And the animation for the knitting is really good. I really like it. I was looking at it very closely and I found it great. Also, I love how the different colours come through the knitting. I think that's really nice detail. And once you've knitted something, you can gift it, you can donate it to charity, you can add it to your wardrobe, you can frog it, which just means you would reuse the yarn, or you can put it on Plopsy, which is kind of like Etsy. There's a new knitting aspiration. You're going to want to work through this because there's a cool reward at the end, which I'll get to later. And there's loads of new buffs, like things from knitting, the rocking chair, all that kind of stuff. And if you do have cats in your game, they will play with the yarn, which is super cute. It's also a really nice animation where elders can reminisce on the rock chair, which is another nice animation. And sometimes they'll just go do that naturally, and I think that's beautiful. The loom that you'll find on the table is just decor. I really thought that was going to be interactive. I was kind of upset that that was just fodder, but most of the stuff in this pack is just fodder. There's a new radio music channel. It's metal, everything's in capitals. It's awesome. It's so cool. Some really awesome songs on there, and your Sims can air guitar to that. So if you want a granny air guitar in, they can. It's cool. Yes! So as you progress with knitting. You'll start with the beanies, and then when you get to a next level, you'll unlock socks. It's a skill, so you're going to unlock things in different levels, and it goes right through to level 10. And you're actually knitting a colour at a time, so when you add them to your wardrobe, it's kind of a long process. So you knit them, which then unlocks them, and then you add them to your wardrobe, and then you go into CAS, and then you put it on your sim. It will still show as locked in CAS, but if you then open the colour options, you can see which colour options you've unlocked. There should maybe be a little in between the icon just showing the lock kind of partially open or something, just to show that you've got some colours, because I think that's going to be quite a confusing process for some people. If you do choose to list something on Plopsy, which you do via the item in your inventory, it will stay in your inventory, but you can then look at it in there and see how it's doing on there, and you can, if someone buys it, which it will pop up and tell you, you can then choose to ship it and sell it. And Sims will just knit all the time. It's kind of like how they were with the clay and ice cream and things. Sims become obsessive about certain things in The Sims 4, and knitting is no different to that. They will definitely be obsessively knitting all the time, but whereas I found it very annoying with the ice cream especially and the clay, knitting, it doesn't feel so annoying. It feels very natural that they would just go sit and knit, and I really like that. The animation is always the same for it, but it's just lovely. So at this point I entered the knitting cheat, and that took me to level 10. Then I had the ability to knit almost everything. You can knit absolutely everywhere that you can sit. So if you tap on a chair or the edge of a swimming pool or a bed, anywhere that you would have the option to sit, when you click on it, you can knit. Now, in the trailer, it shows a sim knitting on the toilet. So you can't tap on a toilet and click sit, but you know that your sims will sit there. So you might just find that your sim will just go sit on the toilet and knit. That's something you'll have to wait and see if it happens for you or not. I found as I was tapping on one chair to knit, they would go sit wherever they wanted and knit. So you might find they just naturally go sit on the toilet. You can also teach other sims to knit, even children, and that's again a really nice interaction and animation. Browsing Plopsy, which is a great experience. I did that via the computer, and there's lots of Sims 1 references in there through the sellers. You might find that you can buy things on there before you can unlock them, or even if you don't want to knit, you could just go on there and buy random things. It has a little counter at the top showing you when it will refresh, and there'll be different items for sale. There's all sorts on there. It gives you an idea as well as what you can sell on there. You can also make the baby onesies. I'll show you those later. There's a lot of things that for toddlers I thought they'd be able to play with, but they couldn't. But there are some things that they can play with, like Yanni for example, and you can make onesies for them as well. You can also resume anything you're making. So if you want to start a sweater, and then you get bored of knitting the sweater and you go and make something else, but then later you want to come back and resume that sweater, you can do that. There's also a new trait called Sacred Knitting Knowledge. In order to get that trait, you need to complete the aspiration, the Lord of the Knit or whatever it is. It's a new aspiration. It's Lord or Lady depending on the sex of the sim that you've chosen to play as. You can work through that aspiration, complete it, and you'll get the trait for the Sacred Knitting Knowledge. And at this point, you will then unlock extra cool things, such as Yanni. There's also a Yanni ornament, which is a bit bigger. He's like on a tree stump. And the Forbidden Sweater, which also comes with the sweater curse. And if you make that sweater, you can then gift it to someone in your family. So my sim gifted it to her son. I think it also varies on relationship if this is going to work. Once you've gifted it to that sim, they can then add it to their wardrobe. Then you go into CAS, put it on, and you then may or may not get the sweater curse. But don't worry, it doesn't always happen. You can wear that jumper without that. The Yanni on a stump, I also had one that I made massive because I'd seen in the description of this that it will run away like Yanni does in the Unraveled game. So I thought it was going to do this cute little animation around its stump or something, but actually it just sort of moves like the gnomes at Harvest Fest. It'll just appear in a different place. So probably don't make a large one like I did, because then it spawned like in the middle of the kitchen and it blocked my sim in the corner, and she was just knitting and dying. Okay, and finally the baby onesies. They are super cute, very nice addition. Once you've knitted one, you just click on the crib when you have a baby, and then click the put on baby onesie interaction, and your sim will then dress your baby. Really cute animation for that too, with the blurring, and then they'll be wearing that onesie, and it's so cute. So that's my walkthrough, everything I did playing The Sims 4 Nifty Knitting. I think this pack is great as a stuff pack. I think it's such a beautiful, niche little pack that delivers on what it promises. I quite like that things are locked, and if you don't want them to be locked, you can use cheats to unlock them, so it kind of works there for everybody, however you want to play. I would give The Sims 4 Nifty Knitting 4.5 big fat moos. I think to be perfect it would have had slightly more interactive objects, and some of the gameplay flow of how you actually get to wear the objects and things like that would have been a bit simpler, but apart from that, I think it's a pretty decent pack, and I just love how the knitting fits in. I think this is going to be quite iconic in the future.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video has helped you out. Please do let me know if you have any thoughts or questions down in the comments, and stay tuned to my Twitter at rachybop. I should be doing a giveaway of this pack courtesy of the Game Changer program very soon. Bye!